Imagine this. You're in the middle of a heated argument with your partner. What started as a simple disagreement quickly spirals into name-calling, defensiveness, and silence. The tension rises and you feel the distance growing between you. It's an all-too-familiar scenario that can leave us feeling frustrated, hurt, and disconnected. But what if I told you there are warning signs, known as the four horsemen of the apocalypse, that signal your relationship might be heading down a dangerous path? In today's episode, we'll explore these four horsemen: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, concepts made famous by relationship researcher Dr. John Gottman. These negative communication patterns can slowly erode even the strongest relationships. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot these destructive behaviors, and most importantly, how to counteract them with healthier communication strategies. So let's dive in. The four horsemen is a term Dr. Gottman uses to describe four behaviors that predict the end of a relationship if left unchecked. Just like the four horsemen of the apocalypse in the Bible that bring destruction, these toxic patterns can lead to the downfall of a relationship. Gottman's research has shown that when couples engage in these behaviors regularly, their chances of divorce or separation significantly increase. So, what are these horsemen, and why are they so destructive? 1. Criticism. 2. Contempt. 3. Defensiveness. 4. Stonewalling. Each of these behaviors attacks the foundation of a healthy relationship: trust, respect, and connection. Now let's break down each horseman in detail, and I'll show you how to identify and combat them. Horseman number 1, criticism. Criticism occurs when we attack our partner's character or personality rather than addressing a specific behavior. Instead of saying, "I'm upset that you didn't do the dishes," criticism might sound like, "You never do anything around the house. You're so lazy." See the difference? Criticism turns a simple complaint into a character attack, making the other person feel attacked and defensive. When we criticize our partner, we send the message that there's something fundamentally wrong with them. Over time, these repeated criticisms chip away at a person's self-esteem and create a toxic atmosphere. It's easy to fall into the trap of criticism when we're frustrated, but it often leads to more tension rather than solving the problem. The antidote to criticism is what Dr. Gottman calls a gentle startup. Instead of attacking your partner's character, focus on expressing your feelings and needs without blame. Use I statements rather than you statements. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel hurt when I don't feel heard in our conversations. Can we talk about how to improve our communication?" By expressing how you feel and what you need, you shift the conversation from blame to problem solving, creating an opportunity for positive change rather than defensiveness. Horseman number 2, contempt. Contempt is considered the most destructive of the four horsemen. It goes beyond criticism and involves attacking your partner's sense of self with the intent to insult or psychologically harm them. It's often expressed through sarcasm, name-calling, mocking, or even eye-rolling. For example, saying, "Oh, great, another genius idea from you," with an exaggerated eye roll is contemptuous. It sends the message that you view your partner as inferior or unworthy of respect. Why is contempt harmful? Contempt is like poison to a relationship because it erodes the bond of mutual respect. According to Gottman's research, contempt is the single greatest predictor of divorce. When we express contempt, we're not just criticizing what our partner does, we're demeaning who they are. This breeds resentment, making conflict resolution nearly impossible and creating an emotionally toxic environment. The antidote to contempt is building a culture of appreciation within the relationship. This means shifting your focus from your partner's flaws to their positive qualities. Start by regularly expressing gratitude and admiration for what your partner does well. You can do this through small acts of kindness, compliments, or simply acknowledging their efforts. For example, instead of focusing on the one thing they did wrong, try saying, "I really appreciate how much effort you've been putting into helping around the house." Over time, these small gestures of appreciation can help shift the overall tone of your relationship from one of negativity and criticism to one of respect and support. Horseman number 3, defensiveness. Defensiveness is our way of protecting ourselves when we feel attacked, but instead of resolving the issue, it escalates conflict. It often involves making excuses, shifting blame, or counterattacking. For example, if your partner says, "Why didn't you take out the trash?" a defensive response might be, "I've been too busy. Why don't you ever help out with anything?" While defensiveness may seem like a natural reaction to feeling criticized, it actually prevents productive communication. When we get defensive, we shift the focus away from the issue at hand and onto our own need to protect ourselves. This not only escalates conflict, but also makes our partner feel unheard and invalidated. The antidote to defensiveness is taking responsibility. Even if you feel unfairly accused, it's important to take some ownership of the issue rather than immediately deflecting blame. This doesn't mean admitting to something you didn't do. It's about recognizing your role in the situation and working toward a solution. For example, instead of saying, "You're wrong, I didn't do that," try, "You're right, I should have remembered to take out the trash. Let's figure out a system so it doesn't happen again." By owning up to your part in the conflict, you disarm the situation and open the door for resolution instead of further escalation. Horseman number 4, stonewalling. Stonewalling occurs when one partner withdraws from the conversation or shuts down emotionally during conflict. This can look like giving the silent treatment, walking away mid-argument, or simply refusing to engage. It's often a response to feeling overwhelmed, but instead of diffusing the situation, it creates more frustration. Stonewalling can be incredibly frustrating for the other partner, who may feel ignored or rejected. Over time, it can lead to feelings of abandonment and emotional distance. It's important to understand that stonewalling often happens because the person is emotionally flooded. They're so overwhelmed by emotion that they can't process the conversation. The antidote to stonewalling is to practice self-soothing and take breaks. When you feel yourself shutting down, it's okay to step away from the conversation, but do so in a way that reassures your partner. Let them know that you need a break to calm down, but that you'll return to the discussion once you're in a better emotional space. For example, instead of walking away without a word, try saying, "I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. Can we take a break for 20 minutes and come back to this conversation when I've had a chance to calm down?" During the break, engage in self-soothing activities like deep breathing, meditation, or a short walk to help regulate your emotions. Once you're calm, return to the conversation with a clearer mind and a more constructive approach. How to prevent the 4 horsemen. Now that we've explored the 4 horsemen and their antidotes, how can we prevent these destructive behaviors from creeping into our relationships in the first place? Here are a few key strategies. 1. Build a culture of appreciation. Regularly express gratitude and admiration for your partner. The more you focus on their positive qualities, the less likely you are to fall into patterns of criticism or contempt. 2. Use soft startups. Begin difficult conversations gently, focusing on your feelings and needs rather than attacking your partner's character. This creates an environment where both of you feel safe to express your emotions without fear of blame or judgment. 3. Take breaks during conflict. When you feel emotionally overwhelmed, it's okay to take a break. Use this time to calm down and reflect, but be sure to come back to the conversation when you're ready. 4. Seek help when needed. If you notice that the 4 horsemen are a regular part of your relationship, it might be helpful to seek professional guidance. Couples therapy can offer strategies and support to break these patterns and build healthier communication. Defeating the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen, criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, are warning signs that your relationship may be in trouble. But the good news is, with awareness and effort, you can replace these negative patterns with healthier, more constructive behaviors. By practicing appreciation, taking responsibility, and communicating with kindness and respect, you can build a stronger, more resilient relationship. Remember, every relationship faces challenges. It's not about avoiding conflict altogether, but about learning how to handle it in a way that strengthens your connection rather than tearing it apart. Thank you for watching this episode of Mind Matters. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on building healthy relationships. And as always, take care of your mind. It matters.